Okay. So we have a small issues with YouTube, so I connected into Alam YouTube, but we will solve that. I mean, at least we are live now.
Yeah,
so I think, yes, what I'm going to do, if I can mute you all, okay. Okay, good morning and good afternoon. From London, it's good morning, it's 11 o'clock. I think it's just 11:05. And I would like to say good morning to all those in Europe, in many parts of the world, it is good morning now, is the morning. For those in Africa, joining us from Africa and the Middle East, is almost good afternoon. And then those in Asia, our lots of partners and collaborators from India, Indonesia, and others, I think it's going to late night now, going to night, and also in China is going to night. Wherever you're watching us, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And those are our colleagues and friends, a lot of them from the United States and Canada, it's just early morning. I think it's around 6 or 7 o'clock. So wherever you are, a warm welcome from London. And we're all very excited to welcome you to this interview. We call it a big interview. It's a series we started several years ago. It's been very successful, where we give an opportunity to people from governments, from policy, prime minister, we had ministers, we had youth activists, women activists, celebrities, private sector, to have a conversation about issues which we care deeply about it, and things we teach in our classrooms. And the core of what we do here is to share good practices across the whole world in terms of sustainable development. Few points before I start. Let me first make sure everyone in the Zoom here agree to our terms of reference, where we're going to be recording this. So if anyone not keen to appear on the screen, which I would really appreciate, everyone will open his camera and her cameras, but officially we need to let you know that we're going to start recording this. And the recording is purely for academic purpose. We share it on our website, at the university, at YouTube. We have one of the best digital library, even the UN like what we do. So I will start recording now. Okay, so very warm welcome to all those are joining us. And I would like us to make a quick reminder, correction actually. We're supposed to be live stream this on World Association for Sustainable Development YouTube channel. For a reason, which happens sometimes, it didn't allow me to share there. So I am sharing it on my Allam Ahmed YouTube channel. So please, those in the Zoom or those who are watching us now, please make sure you share the correct one. They both linked, but at least we'll make sure we do them. Now, I am also pleased to have with us many colleagues and friends here, among them Professor Joseph Natai from Uganda, who is going to be the person going to give a good reflection on what Jota is going to present, and others. I can see that some names I know, some names are... I am very excited, as many other people, when they saw the flyer about this seminar. We're all very excited, because we're going to listen to a real transformative leaders, transforming himself from one time being one of the top world footballers to embark on another journey into business and become a founder of or a CEO, founding a device which collect data from the field and help farmers to improve their productivity and maximize the efficiency of their production, and at the same time also care and achieve a sustainability agenda. It's a big story, really. And more interestingly, he's not like me or other many people, academia. He's a celebrity because he was a big name in football. He played in the Premium League in Aston Villa, and then he played in Real Madrid, and he's well known. So it's quite exciting to see that journey. But we're going to focus on the second part, which is the whole seminar is about data, artificial intelligence. And we're very pleased, even the United Nations Development Program and the Secretary General is launching a big project on digital transformation in Arab countries, where we've been approached to try to contribute. So we have a lot of experts on this area, and I think this will be an exciting area to listen to this presentation. 2 months ago, I was in Uganda, Kampala International University, and when I had a discussion with experts there, they said they are very interested to develop area of AI in agriculture, smart agriculture. And this is one of the examples of smart agriculture. And we will definitely connect Jota with universities like Kampala and other countries. But let me quickly, I don't want to take too much of your time. Let me just say a few things about, I will let him introduce himself at the personal level. Many people will be excited to hear about him. And by the way, there's, I think 2 or 3, maybe he can tell us, Jota. The name Jota is being used, particularly 2 of them are very famous footballers. He and the Jota we have here in Liverpool. So he might also tell us if there's any other Jota. He's quite a phenomenon in terms of his career. For 14 years, he have a remarkable career in football. As I said, he played all the way Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and so on and so on. He will talk to us about this. And then he transitioned into become one of the, as being quoted here in Qatar, one of the most influential, he was nominated, or one of, let me read exactly the title. He's one in the Qatar Economic Forum last year. He was one of the most influential CEOs for the next 5 years. This 5 years, actually, this is the 5 years we're going towards the end of the Agenda 2030. So in the next 5 years towards 2030, he's been nominated as one of the most influential CEOs. Excellent. He's a transformative leader, and the product or the device he's going to talk to us about it, most of the seminar, was awarded the most innovative technology. And this is really what I got very interested about it, the most innovative technology of 2024, which is the year we just finished. And it's a disruptive device. I'm not going to talk about the details, but he's using data, artificial intelligence to help farmers. But most importantly, Jota himself, he's a transformative leader, and he's very keen on helping farmers. And also he is very keen on sustainability, and we will listen to him in more details. So there's a lot of all his CV as usual. You will find it in our database, SDGs Who's Who. We're proud to have him in our database, and we're proud to actually make him available to anyone who wants to talk to him or get knowledge from him. The way we're going to run this interview, we're going to give him 2 to 3, maybe 3-4 minutes to introduce himself as Jota. Who is he, a little bit about his career, and then the transition of when he started thinking about moving from, when he retired, where this whole idea come from. And then we will let him do a proper presentation about the device, and then we open for question and answer. The first person will give him the chance to reflect is Professor Joseph Natai. We're very pleased to have him here. I will talk about him later. So I think, Jota, if you, first of all, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to listen to you today. And we are excited to have you here. Some are academics, some are students, some are businesses. We have all people, some from United Nations. So first of all, Jota, I think you are in Saudi Arabia now because you have 4 offices. Okay, if you are in Saudi Arabia, I think so, if not, correct me. Can you introduce yourself? I know it's a difficult question, but as short as possible, as much as possible. Tell people who are watching you from all over the world, who is Jota in front of us now?
Okay, Professor. First of all, thank you so much for your welcome. We met each other, I think 1 month ago or even less in Alabasa in the Saudi Reef, and thank you so much for your welcome. And yes, I will try to present myself quickest as possible to not make it so much boring. I am Jota Peleteiro. I born in Spain. I born in Galicia, and my first career, let's say, my first journey, I was a former football player, Celta de Vigo, Real Madrid, Alaves, Brentford, Aston Villa, and in 2021, I decided to stop my career to a completely change, because I always been involved in business, but to be honest, never really focused on that. It was like a hobby or trying to make my second financial thing, trying to be involved a little bit, but never was so serious, because obviously my career was a long career of 14 years. I was really focused on my sports career. But in that point, I find that project. I have this on my mind, and I knew was a really big project to develop, and if I want this project to succeed, I will need focus 100% on it. And I take a really hard decision, that is stop playing football, because was what I was doing all my life since I was 5 years old. And obviously it's difficult even for close people, because they think you are a little bit crazy making that change and stop winning money, let's see, to invest money in a completely opposite way. But I always need that motivation in my life, and in that moment I feel that was my motivation, not the football side. And I make that completely change. That sounds really weird, but now we are here. Yeah, like you said, I am in Saudi Arabia because we are opening new offices here. And yeah, that is what is Jota Peleteiro, what was in the past, what is now, and trying to improve, and with new goals in my life, completely different, but same mentality.
Okay, excellent. Now, when we teach our students entrepreneurship, or who is an entrepreneur, this is a question in classroom. I'm sure Professor Joseph, someone expert in this area in Africa, also will agree at some point. We always been asked, where did you get the idea? How entrepreneurs get the idea? So before I let you talk about this device, where did you get this idea? Not because you are a footballer, that means you can't even think. You said you already been in business, but the idea of creating that device to do what you're going to explain to us. Where did the idea come from? These big ideas, where did it come from?
Yeah, it's not from one day, obviously, because at the end we was one company that we was doing applications before I stopped play, different application software. But in one moment we start thinking about it, and we start doing our research, and we find one really important thing, that a lot of big companies was developing so many technologies, satellites, so many, because we know how is going agricultural world and how is important in the business side, because agricultural and all the supply chain is around 60% of the economic of the world. And in one moment we started researching that was so many technologies, but to be honest, wasn't technologies that was viable, because was technologies that was so expensive, was sensors that was so expensive, so big, need a lot of different connections, Wi-Fi. And this is, the technologies was invented, but wasn't reality for a farmer have 100 devices, because they will spend $1 million on that. And we start thinking, if we can develop something that is really easy, really affordable, because this is, at the end, we are in business, and farmers, they need their profit. And they are suffering now so much because they are having so many new laws. And I understand all that laws, and we need to keep our environment, see what we are eating, but farmers need help to introduce new technologies that are viable to help them to make a organic agriculture, regenerative agriculture, but they need that help from governments to make that transition, because at the end of the day, they are persons that they are working and they need to have his profits, because if not, we cannot demand them take care of the environment and lose money, because yeah, of course they need to take care of the environment, but they need to have families too, and they need to put food on the table to his families. And we was focused on that point. If we can make that device that help farmers, we know we will have success, because they are...
No, carry on. All I wanted to say is that, do you have any connection with agriculture? For example, are you from a farming family? You born in a... What is your connection with agriculture?
No, to be honest, nothing associated with farming. Now I can say that after 3 years on the business, I love the farming world, and I am really not have a connection. But before, if I am honest, I don't have zero connection with the farm world.
Okay, Jota, excellent. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Now, I would like to give you the opportunity to present to us. Everyone is excited to listen to the device, the technology, because it's disruptive, innovative. So go ahead, share your presentation, and we will listen to you until you finish, and then we will start a short conversation asking you a question after you finish. So go ahead.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if you can see the presentation.
Yes, we can see. We can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I am not really focused on following so much the presentation, because I don't want to be so much boring. I will have that. I will start how we start the project. We start the project trying to develop that device that take us maybe 2 years to finish all the developing, make the industrial side. And what is growing? What was our mission? And then we wanted with growing, like completely change the agriculture. And we know, and you know, everyone, how important is the data. Data is like gold now. It's a national treasure for everyone. And if we can give that data in real time and in a affordable cost to the farmers, we will be able to increase their profits, take care more of the land, get better productions, better quality of the products, more natural products, keep the environment in the same way, because our device reduce 40% of the use of the water and 40% of the use of the fertilizants. And in the vision of the company and the values is like go hand by hand with the taking care of the environment and try to make that change in the world, because our device is not only for agriculture, it's for every type of soil. And that is the value of the company, like help farmers, but at the same point trying to align with governments to try to make a sustainable environment, forestry, and agricultural. Well, like I said before, what data do for agriculture, and then with data you can prevent and predict so many different things are happening, like reduce cost of the farmers, improve the efficiency, improve the use of the natural resources, reduce the impact of the agricultural in the environment and all the problems we are having with the climate change. And we create growing procedures. Growing procedures is the device is less than 40 centimeters of height and less than 1 kilo weight. That is connected with IoT card, don't need any type of other connection. You can connect it in wherever part of the wall, and you will only need your phone to work from that device. Is working with energy. This is the device, how you can see here. It's really simple device. We send it in a box, and you farmers only need press button on, connect to the floor, and is that. We was really focused on the development side to create something really easy that every part of the world and every country they was able to without any studies or whatever in technologies, they will able to use it really easy. Here you can see a little bit more specifications. We have all the certifications, the highest certifications of durability, temperature, like EP66, EK10. We have the Europe certification of quality that may give us the viable of seller device everywhere. Even we have the ROEHA, that is another certification that in technology is really important. Here, I will not in this meeting boring you with the technical side or sensor read nitrogen, phosphorus, conductivity, humidity, temperature, MEKEI. We have the accuracy of the, you can see here, the only 98% of accuracy. That is really high accuracy, 97 in humidity. But I don't want to bore people with that type of information. We are connected with more than 11 channels everywhere on the world. That's why we can work all over the world without any other machine connected to our device. That is the big point of that product. We have here more, but things I think we can go, and this is important, like the water consumption. We reduce 40% of the use of the water, 40% of the use of the fertilizants. We can make the field notebook that now in Europe is obligation. They changed for 2025 because they wasn't ready. That because, like we told before, governments need help farmers to digitalize the land, because by themselves it's really difficult. Tell them in 1 year, okay, now I want everything digitalized, and that's why growing. I think we are having that success because we are a really simple technology, really easy to use, but really helpful and on real time. That we collect 24 times a day data from the soil, 1 each hour. We are able to collect the data every minute, but for example, in agricultural is not needed. But for example, for forestry, for prevent fires, the device we have in forestry, they collect data every 1 minute, because it's important the temperature of the soil to have that data all the time. And I don't want, this is the dashboard that we will go later. We will have a demonstration later in real time. I want to show with you everything. And here is, you can see how the devices are, really small, don't need any workforce, solar energy. We have from mangroves to football stadiums. And well, this is, we can pass this is not really important. We have even some big collaborations that we are working now on artificial intelligence to share in COP13 with our DNA, GTX, and ASELEC space. We are working with Planetary X on the sequesters of carbon. And we have obviously different projects already, a new innovation that I think we will be on another big market for us. We are taking the certifications of be the first device in the world able to sequester carbon and put that carbon in the market of credit of carbon. That is, I think, a big change in the credit carbon world, because now the legislation is not really, let's say, is not a legislation worldwide and is more country by country, but this will be a big market in the future. We already are finished some projects that we have a really nice results, and since January we will start giving that new service to the farmers or governments, that they can make profit from his land if they are making organic and agriculture, and they are taking care of the soil. They will be able to sell his sequestered ton of carbons by our application. Here is a little bit about we was working for the credits of carbon and from the AI project with Genie Orbit is called. The project is like mixing satellite from axial space, real data from growing in real time, and another type of data from a laboratory with DNA GTX. And I think this is the finish the circle of growing, because now we have a product that we collect data, we send out alarms in real time if they need more water, if not they need more water. But forget the AI working well, we need a lot of data, and we didn't want to implement the AI directly, because if you don't have enough data, the AI will not take the best decisions. And in 6 months, when we finish all the AI project, farmers, governments, everyone will be able, in the scarcely time is collecting data, they will receive the feedback from the AI for what they need to do, how they need to save, what is the best crop to that type of land. This will be the end, finish the circle of growing. But obviously, we need to have all that data, and for this will take around 6-8 months to finish all the AI process, including on the device. And I don't want, here we have something about the Saudi vision, because we are now opening here offices, but I don't want boring anyone more, and I think we can move a little bit on Professor, what you think we can move on.
I think very good, very brief. Yes, making a lot of sense. I have question, and I believe other people have a question. But do you want to show any other the application before?
Yeah. I think will be interesting. Can show a real example of
yes,
of real time of what you can do from your phone.
Excellent. So do you want me to
stop
this?
Now, to anyone knows, we are not going to a PDF. This is the dashboard, the real dashboard of growing, or our own dashboard. For example, we will go to select one device is in, for example, Kasim. This device is in Kasim. We now see here, first we will see the positional, you see we are in Kasim, and I'm not telling you we are in other place. you can say we are in Saudi Arabia. This is important to people believe what we are doing. And this is the last measurement on the device. This is the current values, how is the soil now in that moment. Nitrogen, potassium, salinity, humidity, temperature, conductivity, pH, phosphonium. Here we can analyze the average values. We can go to see 1 month, wherever. We can go by days, whatever we can see here. And here you have a little bit the statistics, like you see, like every 2 days, like they are, even if I am not in the farm, I can see how the use of the water or fertilizants they are using, because you can see here, even if you are not in the farm, like all the nitrogen, phosphorus, all the valors, they are going down in the same way. After, when they put some fertilizant, go up, and you can see the day, the 1, 3, 4. In that case, they are using every day, every 2 days, they are putting something new. But let's see another device. Let's see, where is that one? We have here a couple around Abha, Jisan in different parts. Let's see this one. Let's see the position. Yeah, this is one in Kasim too, in a poultry farm. And the same, we have here the last measurements we have. We can go here, what the last time was 11, the last time it take the measurement was 11:45 of Saudi time. And here you can see the time was collected, more data, more specific data in numbers. You can export this to your application to analyze in PDF. And here you can go and see, like we was talking before. I can control the farm. I can know if the workers or wherever without be there, because I can see how is going the soil. And with the soil, we know when they fertilize, when they not fertilize, which day they fertilize, or which day they didn't make anything on the land. And I think this is a new way of try to always have the soil in the best conditions possible with the less chemic use, because this is the most important. Because if you only want, you will get a better production if you keep the levels well, and you can see that levels every day, than if you are trying to make big difference of the level of the soil to try to, when you have a problem, put a lot of chemics, because at the end, in long way, you will destroy that land. And what you want and what farmers want is like future, because if you can keep a really good land, really fertile land during a lot of years, this will get more revenue for you in the future. I think it's not...
Sorry to interrupt you. If you go back to that, yes. So now nitrogen is saying, that arrow saying down 0.8 or not 0.8. What does this exactly mean? Mean what?
Yeah, because from the last measurements, the nitrogen went down 0.8, because each hour is doing a measurements, and this is from the last measurements how the difference is. And you see, like normally less temperature, because temperature is different, but if you see all the measurements went little bit down, less pH that is in the same levels.
So for the farmers, are they able to understand all these numbers? Because this is dashboard is going to be in the farmer somewhere in his office or somewhere, right?
Yeah, or the phone, or wherever.
Or in the phone.
But when application.
Yes, how, I mean, he knows nitrogen, he knows the potassium and so on, but this is more of quite scientific data. I mean, how the farmers is going to, do you educate them, or do you expect them to know all how this should relate to each other? Do you,
very good question, Professor, because until we add the artificial intelligence, we create that alarms that, for example, when we give the device to, because some farmers, they want analyze the numbers by themselves, but other farmers, they want us give them a feedback about, and we ask them what they will grow up in the land, and we set for them the alarms in the levels need be every measurement. Like, for example, with that one, if they told us we will grow up palm trees, okay, your pH need be 5 till 7, always in that measurement. And we set up the alarms to all the time that measurement go down or go up, we send them alarm to they try to recover the soil at that point. And after it will be for the AI. But at the moment, that first month is around setting alarms that the growing team set for every farmer.
Okay, perfect.
And I think we can stop here and we can go to questions or whatever you think is good, because I can be talking here one day about growing.
Excellent. And now you said you travel, apart from Saudi Arabia, where else other farmers using it? Where?
We have the offices in Spain, Holland. We just opened in Panama and in Saudi. We have official distributor in Bulgaria. We have devices in Vietnam, Panama, Brazil, Congo. We have devices, Bulgaria, like I said, Kyrgyzstan. We sign now a deal with central government of Kazakhstan to apply that technology in all the land of Kazakhstan. Yeah, we are a new company because we are 8 months on the market, but we are having a really, really good feedback and really good center on the markets, because we are really different, because it's a lot satellites or wherever technologies that is really good to technologies. They are really good technologies, but we are the first sensor that is viable, can cover hundreds of hectares, because our price is 268 euros, and the closest technology to us, similar to us, is around 3,000 to 5,000. And we make that sensors by themselves, because this is with all the cost. And that's why we are having that entrance of the market.
And a couple of questions before I open it. The other question is, these are very scientific details, which are normally taught in agricultural colleges or universities. Do you have a backing of any scientific or any agricultural college? Like here in the UK, for example, one of our founding universities is the Royal Agricultural Universities. They know all this stuff. They teach it. So where do you get that scientific? Is it you're getting support from, or even your team? How do you
we collaborate with some government organizations, but we've been, obviously, that's why was so long development, because we was 2.5 years developing and making pilots from Mexico to Africa by ourselves, because we need make all that, have all that certification and all that studies. And yeah, now we are talking with different universities because we want still improving, obviously, and we have our research team for keeping innovation, the technology, and yeah, we was passing all that areas, but we was passing with laboratories, private laboratories, sciences, and we was doing all that process during 1 year, 1.5 years during the pilots around the world before we launch the technology.
Excellent. And I think there's much we will follow up with you because in the UK we have a lot of interest on these things. Now, one last question. The feedback, you said you received good feedback. Can you just give us 1 or 2 samples? What farmers are telling you, the farmers who used it? Because technology, we normally judge the technology by the end user. And the end user in this case is the farmer. What feedback? Just give us example of feedback.
Yeah, that's, I will, because I have a really, really good example. Because we launched the technology, we thought first will be easy. Big companies will accept that because they are more focused on implement technologies and that type of thing. And we realized that now the best feedback is for medium and small farmers, because now they are able to get technology and to study what they are having in the soil, because normally they use 3 times a year a laboratory to analyze his soil, but they only have 3 times a year data about his soil, and you cannot analyze so much how is your soil if with 365 days a year you only have data of 3 days. It's really difficult to small farmers can study or try to find better ways to, or more organic ways of his land, because at the end they are not having that data, and without data you cannot analyze anything. And now they see they are able to start working with technologies. And like I said before, if one farmer have a 10-acre farm, they will not spend 50,000 euros on 10 devices, because each device costs 5,000 euros. How you will recover that investment? It's really hard for a farmer recover 50,000 euros on 10 devices, to read the soil. But now they can make it for 2,000 and something, because 10 devices is not more than 2,600. And now they are able to digitalize and to start seeing in reality if they can keep the profits making regenerative agriculture or not. Because before they wasn't they won't take the risk of make it, because they don't have any data to analyze. And you know better than me that data is even our device is not having that impact for the agriculture or for wherever. It's because we are able to, governments or companies or wherever, to have so many data of what they are doing. And data now, with data you can do everything now, and without data you are completely in the past. And when people realize that, or governments, that with that data they can prevent future problems in the supply chain of the food, because they will know with time if they will have enough fertile lands or not, or you can make a project to develop your agriculture to can be a sport food country or not. The data is, I think, is the big change in the next years on agriculture and for everything, because it's a really national treasure, I believe.
Okay, that's fantastic, really fascinating stuff. I really like the ideas, particularly the way it helped giving analysis. Now, I think what we can do now, I think I stop with, if you don't mind, I stop your screen sharing. Now we open it for questions. So you can either just click on the hand so we can give you the chance. You know, on the bottom down, something called reactions. One of them, I think, it's raise hand. If you click that one, so we can give you the opportunity. I would like to give the first opportunity to Professor Joseph Nataj. Professor Joseph Nataj is a well-established academics, and I'm really pleased. Professor, you can unmute yourself and you put your camera on. Professor Joseph. He is a well-distinguished professor from MEKEI Business School, one of the leading business schools in Africa, really one of the top business schools in the entire continent. Well-established researchers, and the good news, he got a lot of things to, I think, to reflect on this, particularly from the business and entrepreneurial side of effect, but also he's an expert on climate change and others. So we are very pleased to have him here. Professor, we can see you, but if your camera can be on, that will be brilliant. If not, go ahead. But just we don't.
Thank you very much, Professor Ahmed.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much, Professor Ahmed. And I hope my camera is on.
No, we can't see you. We can't see you. We hear you, but not seeing you.
Okay, I really don't know what. Okay, thank you. Professor, I would like first of all to thank you for these series of interviews with the very important personalities that you started. And there's no doubt Jota Roman is a celebrity. That big name will be. I'm very pleased as an entrepreneur to captivate us. And to me, his transition from football to technology adds credibility and relatability that resonates with the wide spectrum of us who are listening, and more so relating artificial intelligence to agriculture. And when he presents GROWN as a real-world solution to pressing global issues, Jota demonstrates forward thinking and a clear commitment to sustainability. And this combination of personal authenticity, as I put it, and practical impact makes his speech highly persuasive. And the presentation, to me, provides valuable insights into the intersection of technology and agriculture, shedding light on how artificial intelligence and data can revolutionize traditional industries. Now, by tying his objective and purpose for this platform called GROWN and relating it to aspects that relate to sustainability, Jota actually frames his work within a globally significant context. And to me, this approach at least helps us understand how technologists, environmentalists, and policymakers and industry leaders alike somehow come together to appreciate issues confront us today that relate to sustainability. I must say that there were so many educative aspects in his speech, especially when he attempts to educate us about the practical applications of artificial intelligence and sensor technology in sustainable development. And of course, through his illustrations, as we saw a few minutes ago, I think using data from Saudi Arabia and some other places, of course, maybe he didn't have sufficient time to present all that, he's able to demystify complex aspects or topics and make them accessible to people like us and others who are in the area of farming. However, Professor, as I listen to Jota a few questions remained in my mind. I know that he used the visual aids to demonstrate a number of things there on the screen. Right, and he also used some bit of personal anecdotes transiting from football to where he is. But the issues that remained in my mind, and probably some of the other listeners might be faced with the similar issues. These are issues of data privacy, right? I would have loved to hear Jota talk about how growing ensured the ethical and secure use of data collection from its sensors. And two, I would have loved to hear Jota talk about issues of affordability and accessibility so that he discusses efforts to make growing affordable for small-scale farmers, particularly in developing countries and developing regions. I know that he talked about a cost of around 5,000 euros. Now, if you're talking about farming communities in the areas where some of us are situated, that is way out of reach of our farmers. The third aspect that I would have loved to hear Jota talk about is the issue of adoption barriers. I think he needs to talk about potential challenges in convincing traditional farmers or foresters, especially in areas like ours, to adopt new technologies and offering strategies to overcome them. And lastly, through you, Chair, I would love to hear something more about his personal journey. For example, how his experience as a professional footballer shaped his approach to entrepreneurship. I think that's a question that you kept on asking. And the challenges that he faced when he transitioning from a sports career to the tech industry and how he overcame those aspects. But Professor, I must thank you for bringing us this guest, and I would like to hand over to you. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Professor. A lot of extremely excellent questions. The last one, I already have this one down, which I'm going to ask you later at the end, Jota, about the transition and how do other people like Ronaldo, other people, I think they are your friends, how do they see you? Because most of the retired footballers, we have never heard of someone went into such a very high tech like this. Now, three important questions, really. Ethical issue of data collection. How do you use? Do you have a governing protocol for data? Because this is an issue we are facing, and we had to deal with it when we connected universities, because we're going to take their data. And secondly, accessibility, affordability. And the last question, adoption barriers, potential challenges. So you can start in any order you like. And the last one, we can take it to the end.
Yeah, well, first, thank you so much to Professor Joseph for his really nice feedback, and always it's interesting listening from voices with a lot of experience, and I keep learning. And yeah, the first question I think was about the data, let's say security or data problems can be with all that laws we are having. The data is all the data we can work with that data to make better predictions, because the data is always owned by growing. When the user buy the device, we still own the data. We share with them, and they can access to his own data 24/7. But the data is owned by growing. We in some case with governments, yes, we make a deal that we make the server of that country in an official institution of the country, in an official building, and they can own his own data. But this is a special three things because we understand the laws, what important is for a country that data that they want make sure they can have it secure by themselves in our official building. After that, we can keep working with that data because obviously farmers and users, they need agree that, but most of the time it's not a big problem because we are using that data to improve even our technology, to improve, to see different cases around the world, and to keep studying how we can make better our device.
And okay, and just about the affordability, accessibility, what are you doing on this?
Yeah, I think the affordability is one of the big points because we was talking about that other companies or device on the market is around 5,000 euros, and we are selling our device in 268 euros. That is close to 10 times less than other companies. And I think at the moment is the more affordable device, but we are trying, for example, in countries that are developing, trying to enter by governments. They try to help farmers to get that technology, try to finance them, or try to improve any kind of the deals by government, because we know in some of the countries even that price is a high price because it's not all over.
But Jota, just to clarify, Jota, because I think Professor Jota got this figure, I'm not saying wrong, but it's not 5,000. 5,000 is the compare.
No, we are not 5,000. No. Yeah, important point, Professor. Thank you. No, we are not 5,000 euros. We are 268 euros. The other technologies in the market, we are competing, they are around 3,000 to 5,000. Yeah, and I think that's why some of the governments they are interested on try to introduce it to the farmers, because they know will be good for everyone. For the government can have that data, because if not, they will not have the opportunity to see that data. But if they buy the device and they share the devices with farmers they improve their agriculturals, everyone wants, because farmers will improve his farming, and government will be able to have the data of his country. That is really important.
Okay, perfect. And what about the potential challenges in technology adoption? I mean, do you think, because when it comes to technology transfer or new technology, particularly in agriculture, there are lots of what we call them challenges in terms of adoption, understanding, financing, funding. For me, I think this is quite real. Funding is not going to be, it doesn't look a big issue, but also I think the government, like you said, I think it will be in their interest to fund it and so on. But in terms of, do you see any adoption barriers, any difficulty if you go to Africa or say Uganda, where Professor Joseph is talking, or you go to say all African, or you go to Arab countries? By the way, we will send you an invitation to Morocco, because we're going to have a big conference in Morocco in April. So countries like this one, do you expect any adoption of this technology, which is fantastic, in these countries? And what are you doing on this?
Yeah, that is another of the big points that we was really focused on the development, because we knew that in some countries for the age, and in other countries because they are not useful like other countries in technology, we need create something really easy use and really quick, see how you can improve in your land, because obviously that is one of the biggest not problems, but one of the biggest challenges we fight before we launch it, because obviously normally the agriculture all over the years was watching how is the moon tonight. Okay, tomorrow I will, really traditional way. And we don't want to take out that traditional way, but we want to show how we can help them, and times is changing. And if they want be again, because 50 years ago, farming or having land was a sign of status, everything, because always food is really important. But now farmers, they are like we said, unlucky, but they are close to the slave of the supply chain of the food, because they have so many pressures, so many with big companies, they pushing them the prices really down, and only keep the margins like the end selling. And we want to show them that how much power they have, because we don't only make that data to improve the quality. We want in some communities they will be able to sell from different farms. They sell the same product together because they are cultivating that in the same way, and they have data to prove they are cultivating it in the same way, and they will have more power to sell more tons of orange by together. And they will we want always make this like little bit a joke, but we want make agricultural cool again, because this, I think, is the future. Agricultural world and environment world now need to be hand by hand, because we are having more people in the world, more and we are having less food with the time, and this will be we need to be focused in the next 20 years on agriculture, and governments need to support it so much, because we are facing a really big problem if we don't take the problem now. And that's why we try to small farmers understand that I can promise you, you are now, if professor is in Uganda, like he said, I can send the device to Uganda, and he will only need to press one button. We will give the username and the password of the application, and he can start using it and playing with it, and don't need anything more, not more connection. And that's why it was our of one main focus when we were developing, because we knew this will be so easy and so easy to use, because if not, in today they will stop using that, because we know agricultural is not they are not really focused on technologies. The world is so big, and in some countries they have less developing, and obviously we cannot tell them you need one station to can work with that. No, this we make the easiest possible, the hardware and the software.
Excellent. That's very nice to hear. Now, that's the last question we will ask you. I think we're just about finishing our time, but if there's any other question from the floor, anyone from anywhere, either you, can you just use the hand if you want to ask question? I looked at the social media to see if there's any specific question, but I'm really interested to see it's not that expensive. I think for most of the technology we have seen, if it's proven, I think. But any question? Any question from here? While we will give a last chance, Jota, for those people, just the question, I think I have seen it here, and I can see Joseph also ask it. It's just interesting because, you know, we teach entrepreneurship and we teach that university. It's becoming one of the most popular subjects in business school for the last 10, 15 years. Now, I'm not saying you are very different, but most of the retired footballers in the media, they end up having an NGO, or they do some looking. I was last year, I think in November, I attended one of the famous, I think he's a footballer. He went to Gambia or somewhere, I can't remember, in Africa, and he said he went there for a visit. And then he saw people having a struggle with toilets and so on. So he decided to build like a foundation to help them. Most of the time, I'm not saying they are not innovative, but your colleagues, your friends, of course, I'm sure you're still connected with your friends and the ex-footballers. Have you received any feedback from them, comments? It's very unique. I think maybe the next time we'll invite you to the young entrepreneurs to see how the transition, as Joseph did, because I would love if next time we have a more oriented startup, because the way I can see you talk about this product, definitely you have the spirit for it. You love what you do. The idea, you can see it is you're not just talking about explaining how AI is working on this. So what is other footballers, your friends, your class, they telling you? Are they excited about what they do? You did? Any one of them you think might be interested to see, okay, Jota, show me, tell me, or what is what can you say? You are very unique as a footballer, very successful footballer. Now,
well, I didn't know if I'm unique or not, but yeah, you can see two phases of it. I think, to be honest, when I make the first step of stop, I knew people don't believe so much and don't, thought more, he lose little bit his head, like he want now make a total different way of his life, and not even a small project to open a coffee shop. Not he want to change the agricultural, but I think the good thing of being football player and being chasing one dream, because at the end is chasing one dream, because obviously was football player was my work, but when I was 6 years old was my dream, and I was chasing that dream around 10, 12 years till I have 18 years old, and this is, it's not 1 month of chasing, it's like 12 years of following your dream, and I was lucky that I make it reality, my dream. I play in the best league on the world. I play in Spain. Like I live the dream I was dreaming all my life. But if I am honest with you, and you can maybe thought in that moment that, okay, he's losing his mind, because I knew from the day one, if I finish the developing and I develop the device I have in mind, I was sure I don't want to make it to be a normal business and have a profit. I want make my stamp in the world, changing something, helping people. Obviously, this is a business and we are focused on profits. I will not lie to anyone, but I want to make my stamp. If I start something, is to try to be the best, not to try to be one more. And I think that I changed it from my football career. If you are in sports, you are competing every day to millions of persons that they are chasing the same dream, and if you told 5 years old this, he want to be football player, everyone thought, okay, you have so much to fight, and is 1 in 100 millions, the possibilities. But when I started, and I can promise you with the same belief that if no, I will not stop play football. Obviously, I started because I thought I have the chance to make my stamp in the wall and create something really big around agriculture, environment, and let my stamp there.
Okay, I can see Joseph also. There's another name, Joseph. Joseph, he's the founder of AI TV, which is the African in London TV. If you can unmute, Joseph, very nice to see you with a nice picture of London. I hope the weather is nice as we can see at your back. Go ahead, Joseph.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. And, Alam, I have known you a very long time, and you are involved in technologies. Now, this is the area really which I have been thinking about for over 5 years now. So this gentleman, what he has done, it shows that there is progress going on here. But Joseph, the professor from MEKEI, he has already voiced his concern. It's all about affordability. But what I really wanted to know, where is this? I mean, what sort of farmer are you trying to help? You see, for example, I come from the western part of Uganda, and there are many farmers there. We have been trying to develop markets. Believe me, when you see the agricultural products that they produce, you can't even compare them with whatever you get in supermarkets here in London. Now, myself, I have been trying to develop a software, not in an application, which actually point your camera, which is with your iPhone, point it into the soil, let that app analyze whether the soil is okay for you to grow certain things, and how long will it take. But it has proved difficult because I don't have the resources. I've got the ideas, although I have got some friends who can actually do programming, but they do other things. Now, this device here, I can see lots of challenges. First of all, I don't know how you will be able to send data back to your center, because the internet connections especially in Uganda, is really bad. Never mind Uganda, even in South Africa, it has got a problem with the internet connection. So how do you overcome this idea of internet connectivities? Maybe I'm asking the wrong question.
No, it's a really interesting question, but it's to explain to all the people are here. That is why we are really a big innovation, because we don't need internet to share the data. We have our own platform with IoTs that we are able to recollect the data in every part of the world, because we are not a needed connection to Wi-Fi or any type of internet. That is one of the points, that you don't need to spend money in an infrastructure of internet or Wi-Fi that is really cost. And that's why it's only receive the device and put in the floor. That is the thing.
Jota, question actually came here, sorry, Joseph, twice. Very interesting. I was even surprised because it was a question for you here. So when you put the device in the farmer, say in Africa or in Middle East, whatever it is, he doesn't need to have internet nearby that device at all.
No.
It's fantastic, really. How did you manage to do this? So that means the device will communicate with you in Spain or wherever you're
with the server.
Okay, carry on. Sorry, I interrupted you because this question raised twice.
No. I just answered, but to be honest, was a really good question to people understand. It's not another device more. We are having that. We are only 8 months on the market, and we are in more. We are having really nice feedbacks from even big authorities. It's because we create that affordable, but with a really important point that is in agriculture, and is one of the biggest problems that some parts of the world don't already have Wi-Fi, or they need build infrastructure that is really expensive, because it's really expensive create infrastructure in a place that don't have internet. And it's a really interesting question, and I think make it more explanation to everyone how growing processes work.
Yeah, can I ask you just maybe just a suggestion?
Go
if you
ahead.
have the time.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. However, say the marketability of the device itself, because I can see you are going to go to the route for the government route, because they can mobilize people and they can have that device. Say, for example, in Uganda, there is this movement called the homecoming, the diasporans who want to invest their money back home. And there are many farmers, like the other day, they had over 200 people coming from the diaspora to see how they can actually improve their investments and stuff like this. So what strategy do you have to market this device? Say, for example, in East Africa, because in East Africa, we've got Tanzania, we've got Kenya, Uganda, even Rwanda, Burundi, all those things. Maybe let us say the Horn of Africa, because this is where this device I can see working very well.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's not like we are focused on governments. We are focused on governments to enter to some countries, because we know the challenges in different countries. For example, in Europe, we are going directly to private sector, because we analyze both sectors, and is even we have conversations like and we closed that deal with Kazakhstan, but we was on talks around 10 months to close that deal with a government, and we see like in the business side in Europe is working more going to the private, but even we only want we have that part of the company that we want improve lives and improve life of persons, and that's why we know in Africa one of the facing problems is the economically point, and that's why we try to enter for governments to try to help the farmers put that technology on that point. Obviously, because now we are expanding and we are in different points, what we want is have at the end our own offices, even in Africa, to try from there, expand ourselves, have our own team from local people. And that's what we offer when we make a contract with a government or a country. We always open an office in the country to have to can help people understand, learning classes from the device and everything. I am not sure if I answered your question, but we are depending of the market we are going or the government call we had or whatever, we are adapting ourselves. We don't have a straight plan for each country. You know, we try to adapt of the necessities of the market of the country.
Now, can I just say something? Yeah, maybe it's a concluding remark, but more, you know, WSD, the whole essence of WSD is how to use science and technology to achieve sustainable development. So what you presented today, what you're talking about is really at the cornerstone of what we came more than 23 or 24 years ago as academics. This is what we wanted to do, is to have a cheap, appropriate, efficient technology across the whole world to be shared. What you told us today, I think, is really fascinating. And I know some people might find it difficult from someone sitting in London say, oh, 250 or 300 euro is not that much. But I really mean it. I know Africa very well. I know I'm living in London, but I know I've been to Africa, and I know we have a very strong relationship with Africa, the Association of African Universities, 800 universities. So I think what we will be doing, hopefully, we will consult widely, particularly we involve with many universities. If people can give a scientific testimony on your device by senior academics in agricultural universities, you can maybe decide, you give them sample of 20, 30, whatever, we can spread them in Indonesia, in India, we have lots of partners, in Brazil, in other countries. And we say to them, guys, we need you to test this and tell us. And then maybe we can lead with you the campaign. We have very good, strong work with the United Nations, FAO and IFAD and all these big people to support it. Because if IFAD and FAO, all these organizations, they acknowledge and endorse it, then countries, it's not that difficult for them to support a farmer with 300 to 400 euro. This is a farmer producing. I think that's something we can do. And the third thing we can also do, I think, is to try to maybe after we can actually write our own, if you like, supporting document about this kind of technology. Because what we want is eventually farmers across the whole world, in Latin America, in here, in East Europe, in Africa, even now you're doing it in the Middle East. Like we have a big project with Tunisia. So I think it's really, the more I read about this device, I'm getting very excited, because the fact it doesn't need internet and it's not really expensive, in my opinion, compared to a technological device will do what you just told us. I think it's not that expensive. Even if you look into the device itself, the production, the manufacturing, and it still has to be. And we in WSD, we support strongly. We don't feel at all shy of supporting people like you. What we call it is social enterprise or social entrepreneur. You are a social entrepreneur. You are not a corporate entrepreneur. You're someone, you have to get money from this in order to survive, in order to grow. How are you going to open an office, say, in Uganda or in South Africa or in Indonesia? You need to have people. This is not an easy task. So all I can say, there is one last question here. Twice came to me. I want to ask you before we let you go. I know it took more than our time. Can this device, what is the potential of growth? Are you, if your technology able to take more data to analyze, to produce something else? For example, the question twice been asked, if people, they like the device, they play with it from their mobile apps and so on and so on. Now, particularly most of these countries are young generations, like in Africa or in India and so on. That means their kids, they can play with this. They can show it to their dad easily. This is a good thing about all these countries. They have young generation. Can it be used, or do you have the ambitions to increase the possibility of using this? Because you have the device now, you plug it in a farmer in South Africa or in India. Can it be used for more, or do you have any thinking of maybe collecting more other data to help the farmer with other things? One of the big problems for farmers is really marketing and that issue, how to market their product. So if there's any intention of collecting more data, delivering more output, that will be the final question.
Yeah, we obviously we know how is the technology, and we make, I think, now the big difficult step that is start something from zero and get a product. Now we are always researching to add new data. Obviously, we will make upgrades with the time, and even we are trying to create other things that is not relative with the device, but we are trying to, and we will open now in Kasim our own farm, because we want to try to create that a stamp for farmers using that organic or regenerative product. Try to they can have a price of getting take care of the environment, and we want to create one stamp that you will can make a little bit more profit, because you are using another techniques, and not only using another techniques, you have in paper what are you using on your floor, and you can prove that you are taking care of the soil, you are using natural products, and what that is one of the next steps. We want to create that stamp to help farmers can get a difference from people are not using a natural way of grow up food, and they can get that reward on the prices.
Thank you very much. But Joseph, very quick.
Yeah,
very
yes.
quick.
Yeah, very quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, probably the issue of security is not addressed. Now, many countries in Africa, they are very, very, very sensitive about how you collect the data from their
No,
country.
Joseph, that was addressed. He answered that question
Okay.
earlier.
All right. Maybe I went off the phone, maybe.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yes. He did that one, and he answered that one. which is a big question here, not just in Africa, here in Europe is becoming a serious question. Even we at the WSD or university, we've been asked to fill many forms. So thank you very much for all those. Thank you very much, Jota, for your time. Fantastic product. And once we have this video, I think we can share it widely with a big network. And we would love anytime you're coming across London, please let us know. We would welcome you to meet our students. I think you make a fantastic entrepreneur who can talk to students about what they do. But I think there's a lot of something I can talk to you offline about initiative we are involved with to do with how companies who collect money from airline and so on, how to offset the CO2 emission. And the suggestion we are putting forward, it's not a secret, we are putting forward, it should be used for company like you, for an institution like us, who are indirectly helping the planet to be a better place. So where is this? There's a lot of money being paid now. Just look at airline. They pay a lot of money to against their CO2 emission. I think governments in Europe particularly, they need to rethink about where this money is. It should go to companies like you to support them, because if you get big, massive orders, I think you can reduce your costs or you become more efficient to try to get more people. That's another way. Imagine if you get many countries to sign up. That means you need to produce massive. So thank you very, very much. And it's really exciting. And I have to say one last word. It's going to be announced very soon. The US Charter, led by the famous Jeff Thompson, who used to be the world karate champion for 5 times, top name. We have met, we're going to, there's a lot of work we're doing it on his board. And the idea is to bring these ideas like now. Your idea, even he texts me, let me just read to you. Jeff Thompson is the world karate champion. He texts me when he saw the adverts. Very quickly, I will just finish with him, because I think this to give you, Jeff Thompson, yes. What did he say? Just one quick one. Alam, he said, Alam, this opportunity was ideally aligned with our discussion and next step going forward. So that means you can see a big name in sport, world karate champion for 5 times. He's leading the US Charter across the whole Commonwealth, OBE, highly respected in this country. That his note when he saw the advert about you. This opportunity was ideally aligned with our discussion, which we had at the university, and next steps going forward. So I think there is a lot will come, Jota. Thank you very, very much. And for all this, thank you, presentation well done.
Thank you so much to everyone. The pleasure was mine. Inshallah, we will collaborate with more universities, with your university. And this is a pleasure to me can be today here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All the best. I will stop the recording now. And we will stop